who is the student and who is the master.
Yeah.
What we are finding out right now. Also finding out that there is going to be no Exterminator here, sticking with the team fight damage here. So we're sticking with the Ace in the hole. You already have Blaze and Deck set up for that, so it's still going to give you fantastic damage output.
And if you guys are not really familiar with the Tracer of the AB, make sure that you watch him here. We had him with a bit of nerves. Well, actually, hold your horses up at the top, and now someone else is nervous too. Ethereal, because he cannot get past that wall. Nice body blocks coming in from Leftovers as they secure kill number 1 in the game.
Absolutely fantastic body blocks, like you said. Now they're going to use this opportunity to begin burning down that Mercenary camp in the top lane. DAB and Blakitney, they have been holding down this bot lane for the moment, but Nick using that single target damage of Reyna from range to really try and trade out the second that shield goes on cooldown.
And that is definitely going to pressure DAB a lot. But as I was about to say, when we saw that kill occur at the top lane, DAB is known for his Tracer plays. It's actually a hero that in Europe is banned out against him every single game, because that's the hero he made his name on. When he came into HGC and started to play Tracer, teams very, very quickly realized that that is a hero where he's murdering people. In this case, he's the one that might be getting murdered though, as he goes in a bit too deep, and Mayeb secures a kill. Great play here on the side of Method, and DAB immediately getting taken out.
ADRD from out of the darkness with the wonderful two-man tether, giving them a fantastically easy kill. Good job second blood, sorry. The first kill was obviously a Thera Angel going over to Method, and they try to use the timing to begin burning down their Fallen Shaman camp. If they can, they will try to time it, as the objective will be starting in not too much time. There it is. So they're going to be able to time this pretty well with the start of the first Immortal phase.
There's actually another reason also why people should watch out for DAB a little bit, because apparently he's the one that is getting a little bit nervous about the performance here. As always on your first offline event when you're playing on stage, there's a lot of pressure.
Especially if you start doing well.
Exactly, that's the thing. They came here and said, like, guys, we're going to have a bit of a vacation, we're going to have some fun, get some experience. And all of a sudden, you are in the top 4, and that adds pressure. All of a sudden, you realize how far you could go. And yesterday, he had some issues with nerves. Is that going to be the same case today? He has that high-impact hero. He needs to be the one excelling for Leftovers. So we're going to watch out how he's going to pull it off. Because Method, they're going to target him. They're going to target him hard, as we could just see a few seconds ago.
But for now, we start to see the Immortal race coming in here with Leftovers falling a little bit behind, as Method, with that single target damage, are beginning to burn down, get the halfway point, but Leftovers trying to move in and pick up some kills instead. Urel
once again disruptive here. They're trying to get the kills and the setups against Bad Benny, maybe against the Thera at that front line, but we have the halftime show in the hands of Method. They are so quick on that burst at this point, but also Leftovers trying to respond in kind. Method a little bit slow with the rotation towards the Immortal, and it is a race, but Method has the tools.
They have the tools. You can see Tassadar, he does not exactly do a huge amount of Immortal damage, and as such, although much lower than it could have been otherwise, if it hadn't been for that Diablo and Urel zoning there, we are going to see the Immortal going over to Team Method.
And there's also a few adjustments in talents we haven't really touched upon, but this is something, of course, that we oftentimes talk about, the synergy with Tassadar and Tracer. The level 4 talent, highly important here. You want to give Tracer the extra sustain, therefore you go for Karla's Embrace instead of Karla's Light, trying to increase that lifesteal that comes with a Plasma Shield. And oftentimes when we're seeing a non-Tracer hero being played, then it's all about the extra armor. It's trying to keep your front line alive, especially in the meta that oftentimes values compositions that can one-shot someone. But here, it's all about the sustain for Tracer. And they'll need this because Method is aggressively pushing in with a level 7 talent and with the first Immortal of the game.
And the first Immortal is going to take down the first 4. Also, 3-man Root coming in from Deckard Cain there, really muting the defense of Leftovers a little bit here. DAB also having to pull back as he took several chunks of damage. Poti in trouble, goes over the wall, and he will be able to back up.
Well played from a Method so far. They're looking for kills now, but we have the counter-aggression from DAB. Diablo, on the other hand, in trouble, and Mopsio falls as the rest of the team is trying to dish out a bit more damage. They had the 7, but it's their front line that falls.
Malevolence for Diablo, extra damage, but unfortunately did not obviously save him in that last engage, as he was picked off by Team Method, as he himself moved in to try and get that counter turnaround kill. Either way, Method, with almost a full level lead here, they're beginning to reset it into the map. Blazer and Deckard went back for health. as Blaze going to rotate back up top. He might spot Bo5 doing this, but with reinforcements coming for Leftovers, this camp will almost certainly be seized.
Yeah, Leftovers, they are definitely struggling to find kills at this moment or to find a good engage. One of their biggest problems is that there are so many CC tools on the side of their opponent that it's very tricky for Tracer to make those plays. And they themselves are lacking some CC here, so they are heavily reliant on Diablo making the engage, but that oftentimes ends up with Mopsio in a position where he gets immediately pounced upon by the rest of the opponent's team. And especially when you can't really go into that Reyna, he is going to dish out a ton of damage safely from that backline position.
ADRD, Vengeful Spirit comes in, does not connect, backs up, decides not to teleport in directly into tower range, wants to play a little bit safer, moves back with the rest of the team as they clean out the minion wave, continue piling the pressure on. This will achieve at least one tower here. Small boosted XP, but all XP matters.
Especially as you're heading towards level 10. And Diablo, he's at 88 stacks on his souls. The thing is that he will be such a nice frontline right now in these situations. He's so hit point heavy, but again, he's isolated very quickly here, and the rest of the team is zoned out. They have trouble helping him out here, and immediately Diablo in trouble. No kill. There it is, though. We have the final auto attack from Reyna, and that's a massive problem, but a counter kill potentially against Bad Benny.
Benny's so low. Bo5 with a huge amount of disruption, but it's not going to be enough. A fantastic disengage, and that kill, you could consider it to be bad because Diablo had so many souls, but the fact is he was on 94. Yeah, he had the long spawn time, but no one rotated to the Immortals yet. This means he's going to still be just as tanky. You're not going to get that classic Diablo syndrome where you get that double death.
But the problem really is that Leftovers are now in a situation in which they were trying to force that fight because it was a fight before level 10 abilities were hitting. And that is now a massive issue for them. Method is now claiming theirs, and we already have another kill opportunity here. The taunt is perfect, and that's the heroic ability just showing full value as Method secures another kill and is now in a position where they can easily take the objective in the middle of the map.
Complete and consistent shutdown on that Avenging Wrath. That was beautiful. Toss into Tether, into Taunt, and they were able to take him down. Now we see the race coming in, and this time we are actually going to see Method on the opponent's side of the map, putting even more pressure on, as there is nothing Leftovers can do. With Yrel only just respawning and level 10 just around the corner, there's no way they wanted to fight up till now.
Yeah, exactly. And so the kill at the top lane against Diablo and that engage, that was from a strategic point of view absolutely crucial. And if Mopsio goes in a bit later, or if the rest of the team can push in just a tiny bit faster, then they might get that kill, and that could have led into an even fight here. But now Method is ahead before we are seeing the Immortals attacked again. And we're already seeing that massive lead, 8,000 hit points against 20k, and Leftovers, they really try and make something happen here, because their problem is, if they lose out on the Immortal now, especially with so many shields remaining, Method is going to snowball heavily in experience.
Leftovers with the classic 4-man defense with a single hero killing the enemy Immortal. This time, though, it's their support. It's Karazim. He does do a fair amount of single target damage. They begin to move in onto Blaze.
And here comes the Hyperion, already setting that through, but nice zoning tools once again. Bo5 jumping in and Benny throwing him out immediately. The light grab comes through. They're trying to go for the kill. Bunker's on the ground. Nick in trouble. He enters the bunker. They're trying to get the kill. Tracer's already following it up again, but the roots of Deckard Cain are slowing them down every step of the way.
Seven-sided right on the edge of taking out Benny. A lovely disengage by Method there as everything begins to calm down a bit, but the lack of any kills there required by Leftovers guarantees this Immortal going over to Team Method. They were able to burn through a fair amount of the shield, but nowhere near as much as last time.
They just have so much trouble getting these kills. They already had everyone low, especially Nick was just about to fall when that bunker came down and saved them. Leftovers are still in this, but the experience for Method should really skyrocket now as they have the Immortal moving towards the top lane. That should be an easy fort for them. And then we're talking about early level 13 talents for the team in red.
They're bringing the 5-man, no split soak with Blaze. Everyone is here, seeing if they can catch someone as well, who maybe snowball themselves to a tier 2. But with the shield already mostly gone, that looks less and less likely. With Leftovers making the sensible decision, they're 5v5. They have no reason to fight outside their base right now. They're more than happy to back up and protect their keep.
The important part is that Yrel was able to push out the bot lane, and that's experience lost for Method as they cannot get those minions, but at the same time it's all about the protection of your keep towards the top, and that's why Yrel is needed in this position now again. Method breaks through the wall. If they could get the keep, that would be the dream for them.
The Immortal down to just over half health. Hyperion is being dropped, beginning to siege in. DAB's already got shield applied. Good stun by Benny as Poti looks for a play on ADRD, but Vault of the Wardens shuts that down, and the Lornado for good measure. Keep will survive, but it is not looking healthy.
Yeah, it barely survives here, but as long as they hold on to it, that's all they need. So it's definitely tough, but they pulled off the defense. And there's no one really on the side of Method that has a good chance of sneaking in and contributing the final few blows here. But they have to make sure that they're pushing out the top lane. And it's going to especially become a bit of an issue when the next Immortal comes online and Method takes their own Shaman camp. So there will have to be an early reaction. But with Tassadar in the mix and the AoE that you have through him and his Storms, that should be something that they can still hold on to for quite some time.
We see Athero dashing away, immediately gets the potion, so Pulse Bomb is burned as Bad Betty looks for a play here. DAB has one blinker left at this point, trying to get it back with that bullet time as he is being chased down, has to use the recall, finds the gap and will sneak away. Very nice cheeky little play here, seven-sided on the back line. So they move forward, Poti causing a huge amount of disruption as the taunt is dropped, and the bunker puts up such a good defense here.
Leftovers have shown over and over again here at the Western Clash that they're willing to fight into a talent advantage, and they're trying to do it again. They go for ADRD. IFS down. Leftovers with a chase. Tracer with all the mobilities going in, and here comes DAB. He wants to kill. He doesn't get it though. Not just yet, as Bad Benny survives. And barely Karazim also keeping himself and Potiboss alive in that fight. But at least one kill on the side of the Leftovers.
They were able to dive deep, unable to pick up that second kill, but Potiboss, unfortunately, actually had to use Ardent Defender on a minion wave because he was so low backing up out of that fight. It did actually heal him up a fair amount as he ate every single minion aggro there. But overall, that one bit of comeback XP in that kill is such a big deal for Leftovers. Their keeps are alive. They are now even on talents. Now they can begin to reevaluate and begin to make a play.
Cooldowns are an issue though. 80 seconds on the Ardent Defender and another 40 seconds on Archon. So they try to definitely stall this for a bit longer. It's just always amazing how Leftovers are willing to take these fights when they are talent down. They understand perfectly when they can turn a fight, when they can re-engage, and when someone oversteps and opens up an opportunity for them. And they're trying it again here. Time bought for Archon to come back to business. Urel has to be careful, but this is a dance that we are seeing now between the two teams here in the middle to fight for objective number 3.
Urel is not here. She is clearing top lane as the Fallen Shaman would be pushing up to that paper mache keep. This has to be dealt with, but Bot Fort will be acquired for Leftovers here. A nice boosted experience. They will defend their lane, but they're giving up the halftime show for it. It's a defensive, safe play, but it is a necessary one.
Yeah, it's what I talked about earlier when the keep barely survived. Once you take the Shaman camp, it's just, you have to deal with it. You can't lose the keep here. But it also means that Method now has that lead, can take a defensive position on their own Immortal, but it will be a really important one. Leftovers cannot simply give this one up, because this would definitely mean keep. This is a moment where if you win a fight as Leftovers, you can actually start a bit of a comeback, but it could also mean that you're losing the game if you're not able to pull it off in the team fight.
Potiboss in position for a trap. They're looking for a Thero, but he backs up to his team. It's all good. The poke consistently coming in from DAB. Tassadar will be able to do so as well, consistently with those Psy Storms as they slowly burn down the Immortal. Method will eventually have to pull the trigger, or this will go on for a while. The Tassadar sustain will keep Leftovers in this sieging position.
And especially these Storms, they are of course hurting, but there's no 16 yet. There's no Psionic Echo that would allow Blake Kidney to dash out even more AoE damage against this and soften these targets up to allow an opportunity for DAB to go in deep and maybe get a kill here. So it's just all of them dancing around and waiting for that one moment where one hero steps out and you can jump on them.
There it is. Poti looks for the opportunity as he moves forward, trying to get in position, but a toss out by Bad Betty is setting up for the Lightning Breath by Mobsio. It's Karazim, though, is the one who is zoned away by a clutch move by ADRD.
But Nick barely surviving here. That was actually a really close call. DAB went in deep and got the pulse bomb off, but Reyna survives. A tapping at the fountain, but that at least allowed Leftovers to get a lot of damage in against the Immortal itself. A lot of cooldowns burned here, but we still have the Ardent Defender and also the 7-sided available on the side of Leftovers. The problem is that Method holds onto the Hyperion, and there it is, securing the space and trying to use it to invade the Immortal and take it again.
Mopsio is just going to try and tank through this, but he doesn't want to get caught out alone as Boss is wrapping around the side. Good zoning here, though, by Bad Betty on Garrosh. Mopsio dives in deep. Warden's Cage juggles Mopsio, but 7-sided drops a lot of damage here as they try to force Method back. Not even for kills him, but trying to force them off the Immortal.
There's so many abilities in Heroics that basically cancel each other out. We see the Cage coming down and the attempt of Maiev to trap the fight, but then the 7-sided, which forces them to move out a little bit. And the entire time, it's just a back and forth, a trade in cooldowns that we're seeing here, as both of the teams are dead even in experience. Leftovers, they have the Lightning Breath here again on Mopsio's side. They could use it. They go for ADRD. They go in deep. The breath is there. DAB is going to look for that kill now.
As Lynx moves back, he's taking a lot of damage. DAB is dropping as much as he can. Boss with a great disruption immediately gets taunted, but Bad Betty is looking low. A beautiful pulse bomb by Nick as he picks up the kill.
DAB gets the first one. He goes in for the second. Cursen, he's low, and he goes down. The double kill. The Leftovers have pulled it off.
As they move on to the Immortal, this is going to be their first of the game. The Keep is somehow alive in the top lane. Minion Wave cleaned that up, but there's so much little there. It's going to be Minion Wave versus Minion Wave, but the Minion is slightly in advance for Leftovers. That Keep will survive. This will now push in the top lane, so it's going to proxy the wave. This is the best possible scenario for Leftovers.
It's insane that that Keep still stands. The Minion Wave pushed in and it was already low, but right now it just has that sliver of health, and we have the push to the top lane. And this is the moment where Leftovers can really move forward. They have the leading experience already, but that Immortal can really help them to take down structures and to start and snowball a bit faster towards level 20. But there are no shields. Method did a great job at trying to go for the objective, but Leftovers have to get something out of it. They need to at least get that fort. 16 is there. The double storm is ready for Tacita. The cleansing touch, and they're going for Aethero. The bunker comes out in the last second possible. Aethero with the attempt to move back. The lightning breath is there, but we have Blaze surviving.
The blessing from Deckard doing some work there, keeping Aethero alive as they begin to turn back. Nick also being forced to retreat as he is dropped low from the harassment. This is going to be the fort. The Keep survives, but Leftovers are beginning to gain some momentum and in fact have a full level lead right now.
And of course, at this point, you're looking at Cleansing Touch for Kharazim. That's a game changer. You're looking at the Psionic Echo for Tacita. He has such a great AoE damage available to him now, where he can soften up targets if it ever comes back to that standoff in the middle of the map again. And DAB is really finding into his own. This is the first game. We had a couple of shaky moments at the first start of the game, but right now, every time you see that Lightning Breath coming out, every time there's an Archon being popped and the 7-sided used, DAB is looking for that target, and Nick is having a tough time against him. Quite often he survived, but in the last one, Tracer was there again with a Pulse Bomb, dropped him, and that was the beginning of the end of the team fight for Method.
And even outside of these team fights with the 7-sided, Linked has been a silent hero for his team. He's been dropping so low in these team fights, but his level 13 6th Sense has been keeping him alive. His cleanses with that cleansing touch have been on point. He has been making so many quiet plays. We moved them in for Mopsio, as Aethero is also out of position. Mopsio is going to get wiped by the Warden's Cage. Aethero walks away.
Mopsio goes down, Boss. The Ardent Defender keeps him alive for now. Can he escape? Yeah, he tries and he jumps away. The kill against Mopsio, again, pushing him in and then zoning out everyone else. So important. Another attempt with Lornado to maybe get kill number 2. But Leftovers are back with 5 on the map, but Mopsio has now lost all the souls on Diablo.
That's rough. That is a rough scenario to be in. This is one of the hardest maps to stack souls-wise outside of those Firestorms. So Mopsio immediately rejoins his team. He's going to be happy to go for small scuffles to try and gain those souls back with that Firestorm.
Mopsio's already anchoring the play here, trying to see if someone overextends. Linked has the 7-sided. They can make the play. They're trying. 7-sided is in. The Hyperion comes out. DAB again looking for target. The Lightning Breath is roasting everybody. Reyna is dead. Everybody's low. It's ADRD who falls a second. The double kill as the Leftovers go for the Immortal.
And Leftovers put up a huge play with the No Souls Diablo. Mopsio shouts out barbecue, and they begin to take the Immortal halftime show.
How would you like your Reyna medium?
Very
please?
well done. Very well done is how that was.
Going in again here, trying to secure it with 100% shields, and I mean, there's no one to stop them. Method has 3 on the map. What you gonna do? Walk into the mid lane and suicide? That's not happening here. So it's all
God,
about
Oti.
the shields, and actually the leftovers even invading here. Pori diving in deep. He doesn't have the Ardent Defender, but he's still trying to scare Method off. But that just shows. That actually shows the discipline and the knowledge and the nonchalance of Method here. They know perfectly well, you're just trying to scare us. You guys are still damaging the Immortal. We are not gonna give this camp up, so get out of here.
And the camp is taken. That's once again pressure on top lane. The keep is still low as Mopsio has dove deep. He's getting focused down, but this time he's tanking through it, even with so few souls. Warden's Cage and Torn. Mopsio will 100% full here, but can Leftovers get a turnaround play outside of this bunker as Bad Benny is very low pulse bomb, and it's just short of being enough to finish off Benny.
Barely enough to keep him alive here, but the Immortal is still pushing. Mopsio has fallen here, and they could not get a counter kill. They were hoping for that. The lack of souls is definitely a problem for Diablo at this point, and every time we see these Immortals pushing in, the Hyperion comes into play. Ardent Defender being used here. They're going for the keep, they're going for the kill, they're going for Nick, and they get him! No, they don't! They don't! It's Urel that falls, and Kerosene, and Nick somehow walks away!
Immediate Archon is dropped. They are committing. They want this keep at minimum, and they do get it. That Archon will allow them to escape. Top lane is still pushing. They will have, even porting will not save this keep. It is going down, so that is going to be a keep for a keep play here. Now the question is, will this Immortal get any core damage? Looks like it might get a percentage or two, but it's going to be pretty tight, actually.
It's absolutely insane that Reyna survived, by the way.
Yeah,
that is just
absurd.
crazy.
100%
I see the hero fall, and I'm like, okay, that's definitely Reyna. And all of a sudden, it's Urel that's dead, and I'm like, wait, what? How did he walk away again?
Into the fray, potions value. A last-second save by Bad Benny.
Nick, at this point, when you look at Nick, I mean, he died a few times, but if you look at Reyna, he only died twice. He should have at least 4 or 5 deaths. Yeah. How heavily they dive him, and how often he walked away with maybe 2 to 3 hit points. Absolutely crazy. Nick, the escape artist here, as he moves out.
Tracer getting absolutely wrecked by the stun lock there. Not even a chance as Mopsio has returned, but Trace is now down for another 55 seconds. That was a fantastic engage combo by Method.
Yeah, Leftovers have to be careful here now. It's still an even game with a top keep on the side of Leftovers, lost in the bottom keep for Method. But this is a moment where with both teams on level 20, you still have to be a bit patient. Mopsio needs his souls back, and right now with Tracer dead and one of the most aggressive damage dealers in their arsenal, they might have to keep up another keep. Method perfectly identifying that with Tracer down they can go for it, and they want to even go potentially for a core here.
They're thinking about it with Tracer down. It's a 4v5. Lynx though, he has Transgression, and Blakitni's shields on the core are going to be a problem with Archon just about to come back. They're slowly burning it down, but Mopsio with some good zoning position. They're going to dive deep onto Curse and pre-Tracer. This is so risky, but it might be what they need. Cleansing Touch keeps Mopsio alive. The 7-sided did monumental damage, but later he gets a lovely blink away to his team.
They saved it for now, and there's the Twilight Archon, and Tracer's back to business. They're trying to follow. She's not here just yet. On the way, as we're talking about it, but Method is able to escape.
Catapults in top, they very much have to be dealt with. There's no shield on the core. There's now a shield on the core thanks to Blakitni, as he will burn those down, but that's still a couple more percentages off as Leftovers move to the center of the map to begin to duel Method, who have the better positioning right now.
But the problem is that Method burned so many heroic abilities.
They did.
This is a massive issue for them right now. They need to be super careful with this. And we're already having Leftovers moving in again. And Tacita is keeping the Twilight Archon alive. He's keeping that in play. So right now, halftime show should go over to Method. We have the sharking around here. Position at the bottom for Method. This is getting really tense now.
Gets it. Finds the Immortal. Gets a little bit of extra time on it. He needs to keep attacking as Athero goes in. Immediate cleansing touch. Once again, Linked saving his team there.
And the cooldown, of course, is also going down. They're going in again. Here's Mopsio. Here comes Urel. The bunker is out, but the lightning breath is coming through. Burns it to the ground. Mopsio is low. He might fall. Can they get a counter kill? Diablo is dead, and he's not coming back anytime soon. But Nick falls too, as Tracer and Tacita take him apart.
The AB's coming up big. Looks for another. What's Bad Benny? But the potion's too good. Benny is super hydrated right now as he's able to pull back a 1-for-1 here. Once again, DAB, he was struggling in the backline there. Found a Garrosh looking for a Raider. Finally kills off the Raider though.
And Blake Kidney is getting so much Twilight Arcane value now. He's at 116,000 damage at this point, topping the damage numbers in the game. The fight goes on. Once again, the collapse onto Karazim, and he goes down. DAB, they want the Immortal. Tresida is trying to do whatever he can to maybe even get another kill. Benny is so low here, but there's no pulse from Benny.
He gets the potion. He's alive. DAB's trying to burn down the Immortal. It's taking forever as we see the great defense from Potiboss. The core is beginning to take shots. It's 3 catapults. Poti's on the move. The Kidney in full retreat as Method give chase.
We're 25 minutes into the game. The core is going to go down soon if they don't do anything about it. And so is Tacita. He's already gone 45% on the core here. A fully shielded Immortal. But Method needs to attack. They need to go for it.
They're going to rush it.
That Immortal is going to burn everything apart. But look at it again. Leftovers are trying to buy some time. They try to get the kill. Mopsio goes in deep.
They can't port back if it's a barbecue as Mopsio says burn it down. They move forward. DAB looking for the angle. Athero dashes forward. This is a duel. The longer this goes on, the worse it is because Karazim's going to be back. Taz is going to be back. Method are waiting far too long for this.
Kill it with fire. That's what Leftovers are thinking right now. The Immortal on the right side of the map is doing the damage, but here comes the 7th time. They're going for Benny. Hyperion comes out. Not even on the core. It's 45%. The keep at the top lane on the right side is nearly gone. Curson is slow. Portimos jumps in.
38.
Check gun is down, but the core is falling. The
20
core is falling. 7-6. She as Method takes the game just before the Immortal walks towards the right side of the map to end it in favor of Leftovers. What a finish.
That was a fantastic finish. I really thought they would be waiting too long there, but Method, they pulled the trigger, executed with that bunker to perfection. It was a difficult move to make, but they pulled it off beautifully.
But Leftovers as well, going in knowing that you have 2 down and you know you need to slow them down. The Immortal is going to do the job for you. If you just buy the time, the Immortal will win the game for you. So they were trying to buy time over and over again for the rest of the team to respawn, trying to bait heroic abilities out of Method before they reach the core. But with only 45% left, Method could pull it off and snipe it.
Let's send you guys back over to our splendid analysis desk to talk you through that insane first game.
So, 4 more like that one? Yeah?
Yeah. Wouldn't mind that at all.
That was a pretty good game, Lauren.
What really amazed me about that game is it proves that Heroes of the Storm as a game is one of the most compelling esports on the planet. The energy in this room over the course of the game was insane. You guys are awesome. But what we saw there was Team Method managed to hang on time and time again, but Mopsio, unrelenting, going in with Diablo, non-stop action from beginning to end.
He is a fantastic warrior player, that's for sure. But I actually have a replay I want to go over where I think this sort of aggression from Leftovers is going to lead them down a dark path if they continue to do it without thinking more about their strategies. We can jump into the replay here, and yeah, basically the whole setup was, I believe that Leftovers had 100% chance to end the game at this point. If we consider the facts, look at the health on this Immortal. This is absolutely insane. You have a full shield Immortal. Your opponent's only way of winning this game at this point, Method, is to fight past the Immortal. But look what happens as we progress this clip. Leftovers start moving in onto Method's keep wall here, and Mopsio looks for an engage. We see the pings coming out right over here. They know where Method is, but that is one of the only plays that Leftovers cannot make. They need to play slower. They need to let the Immortal, which is still represented here, push in first. They need to play much, much slower. But because of the speed of this play by Leftovers, it ends up in them losing heroes before the Immortal even gets a chance to really be successful here. And this is, again, a full shield Immortal this late into the game. This was the end of the game for Leftovers. They found the engage. They looked for it. It was very, very greedy. Mopsio falls in this trade. And Method, they defend under these circumstances. Absolutely fantastic defense by them, but it's led off by the over-aggression by Leftovers.
Yeah, they were up there too fast before the Immortal had shown up too, and because Mopsio Souls had been reset prior to that, which was cool that they were still able to get a kill, I believe, 4v5, but went back in with knowing Mopsio was going to be back. It actually kept Method off of the keep, getting the keep earlier on because they were able to know that Diablo was going to come back. Method are, are pretty cool in that I feel like they're one of the best in the world at being able to disengage and then re-engage. And I feel like that was something that they were known for when they were this previous roster before. But something that they're becoming known for now is close calls at this tournament, because they have had so many close core calls. This one versus Tempo Storm. They've had another one to Dig where they ended up losing to the Winions here. They were so close. They made the call they needed to make. It just wasn't fast enough. And then later on, Bad Benny down to the wire versus this Mule, the real 1v1 of Legend, is able to take out the core there. And then here, you know, it wasn't as close, but it still was a close call. Kala, to have the tenacity to make these kinds of calls under those situations cannot be easy.
Definitely not, but I think it's part of the European scrim culture.
Okay.
These teams are, like, we see it from Fnatic, we see it from Method, we see it from Dignitas, all of these top-level teams, they make these calls that are so fantastic, and a lot of the times, as viewers, we're like, is that gonna work? And then they move in and they just end the game like that. And they understand how win conditions work and how to close out games. They're absolutely fantastic. But yes, they're very high stress. And I can't help but say there must have been many, many failed attempts like that within the scrim environment, but the confidence builds over time. And we see it translate into these games.
Going into the tournament, I had called Team Liquid the clutch artists of EU, but Team Method, they're making a really strong argument that that title was misplaced. But I think there's another avenue to success for Leftovers that you and I were talking about that they didn't really go for, and that's hero prioritization. So many times we saw Mopsio and a crew focus on Bad Benny, who has armor on Garrosh and tons of sustain from Decker Kane. And Nick is like standing right there with 5% health. If they change their priorities to go more towards the back line, I see them winning more of those team fights, more of those chases, and I think they can turn the series around.
I think a lot of that goes back to the disengage, re-engage that Method were able to execute, even kind of doing it just to re-engage and get the Immortal with the Raynor too, which was really cool. But later on in the late game, you did start seeing DAB make it in, get those clutch kills on Nick. So we'll see if they can do it again here. Great to see that he, even in a LAN environment when it's a high-stakes situation, he's still being able to provide those kills for the team. Up next is game 2 between Method and Leftovers. And Leftovers have chosen Battleground after losing the last game, and they will take us to Infernal Shrines.
I love this choice for them. This is a battleground that has a singular call to action. They seem to do their best in a full 5v5 team fight. I think they have some of that inexperienced rambunctiousness of a team where they're just going to lay it all on the line, especially in the late game. Infernal Shrines plays to that for sure.
Method, I know this is going to sound crazy, but they're the most versatile, I would say, on this map when it comes to the draft. You know, we already mentioned earlier, bringing in the Zarya, sometimes even the Malthael. So it's going to be interesting to see how the draft plays out on this map. But I love what Method can bring on Infernal Shrines. But as you mentioned, single point of contest, Leftovers, that skirmish team. It's going to be an explosive game number 2.
It is a place where Leftovers may be concerned about macro game, or do you guys feel like they have been able to develop that where that's not as much of an issue for them as it was coming in?
I think they have a solid understanding of it. So long as heroes like Abathur sit at the top of the draft screen and never gets in the hands of a player like ADRD or Medivh for that matter, I think Leftovers can definitely hold their own on that front. We've seen them actually put on a macro clinic against teams like Heroes Heart Esports, so they continue to evolve over the course of this tournament.
The Maiev ban and Medivh as well. Just very consistent so far in this last day of the tournament. Championship Sunday. What is this ban going to be for the Leftovers? Looking at Method, again, they bring some odd picks onto this map. Perhaps you can target that, or you can look at something like another Sergeant Hammer. We've just been seeing so many bans on that hero. Deckard, another one. Abathur, of course. That's kind of just goes without saying. It is Method, and it is a map.
ADRD bingo. For sure. Method's focus on Blakitny seemed to work out in the last game. He ended up on Tassadar. I wondered if maybe Leftovers would more highly prioritize the pick for him, given the fact that Method want to continue that with the Phoenix and Maiev ban. But no, with getting the Diablo first pick now in the hands of Bad Benny this game, Leftovers will respond, getting Alex Straza for some Dragon Queen action, control over the points, and then Urel, that super solid solo laner.
One of the thoughts I had throughout game number 1 was maybe Blakitny needs to be on a more lethal hero, but by the end it was pointed out that he had the top hero damage. He was like, hold my drink for a moment if you don't mind. If they get to the late game, I don't know if they need to go for another Tassadar, double support. This is the Tracer show kind of composition, but Blakitny, he's proving that he can be a threat on any hero he's given.
Right now, Leftovers, looking at that ban, you see, again, the Raynor, Deckard, and Diablo combination from Method. Raynor, what's this ban going to be? Perhaps you could target the off lane. Instead, they just look at the Tassadar. Of course, there's just so many things that you have to ban against Method. It's absolutely terrifying.
And he would have fit very well in with this. The wave clear and shrine clear he provides, giving shields to Raynor 2, an auto attack hero, the synergy between Diablo and Tassadar 2 slows, being able to enable him a lot more, and then covering Deckard Cain 2 would have been very synergistic for Methods. That'll be taken away. Maybe we'll end up with another Zarya then for shields from ADRD. We'll have to see. But Method keep that Kidney focus going by taking away Greyman, another great hero for this map.
Kidney's gonna go ahead and tip his hands like, thank you very much for that ban. I appreciate the respect. Leftovers who have a number of choices on how they approach this, they can take 2 heroes now and save their backliner to see what the rest of the cards Method's gonna hold, because they can throw the whole deck right now at Leftovers.
My big question, is it a Johanna? I traditionally like seeing Mopsio on more of the playmaking warriors, but we're seeing Johanna come in here. Gul'dan obviously just naturally good on this map because of his wave clear, his ability to just get those skeletal defenders on the point, but you always have to be cautious every time. Gul'dan's my favorite hero, of dive against him. So that's certainly something that now Method can look to do in their next picks here.
I love that choice a lot. It's harder to land Storm Bolts or to throw someone out of position over the objective. With Burden or Garrosh, it's going to be a nice job condemning people in, bringing them in for the Gul'dan. A lot of synergy there, but a heavy melee composition with Ranger hang out in the back line for Team Method.
There's your dive.
Yeah, I mean...
Oh, there's more!
Okay.
Okay, indeed. So,
Old school Kerrigan on Shrine.
yeah, Kerrigan, this is one of her better maps if you're considering this one, plus Tomb of the Spider Queen. You know, team I used to be affiliated with really loved this hero, so I'm very familiar with it myself. But yeah, this is a fantastic pickup here. However, you know, Raynor is basically the big one that has to be careful of the Kerrigan combination.
I'm actually surprised we haven't seen Kerrigan sooner. As far as the zero ping aspect goes, I feel like Maeva's kind of taken that role of in an offline event, this is an entirely different hero, but over a point control battleground like Infernal Shrines, anytime Raynor thinks about at all stepping forward, it's going to be a big problem.
I mean, every other melee assassin pretty much has been played. Why not we just add the Butcher in the next game and we'll have pretty much everything.
Jayhao would
Jayhao
like
would be loving that.
Method, they'll do it.
I know.
Yeah, they'll do anything.
They did versus Fnatic last year.
Biggest point of concern is playing Kerrigan against the likes of a Thrall.
Yeah.
Because if you dive in and he just drops the Earthquake and you've got the Sonya to match up against that, you've also got Deckard Cain for the counter engage as well as Diablo. So Kerrigan is going to have more of a difficult time in this matchup. If she can get fast kills, she's going to find success, but that's usually how Kerrigan just works in general.
I like this choice a lot, again, for the Kerrigan, because it puts all the weight of the success of the game on the Leftovers' shoulders. That says to me that they feel comfortable in a situation going for a high execution composition. If Kerrigan falls apart, so does this whole entire composition in the game. So to be in this situation, and you're this inexperienced team, like, let's just rock the Kerrigan in game 2. Why not? I love that choice.
I do as well. For game 2, let's go back over to the caster desk with Kaldor and Tetrick.
For the Horde or for the Swarm? Let us find out, as that is what we are heading into on this second map, sorry.
Yeah, Swarm over Horde, and both overlap.
You're biased.
Yeah, obviously.
So, as we are heading into what is going to be the Infernal Shrines, the first Kerrigan of the tournament, and first Kerrigan in just a really long time in professional play in general. I am excited, and Kaldor, who is the team who is playing it?
Well, we have the Leftovers to the left with a Potiboss on Urel, DAB on Gul'dan this time. Linked finds himself an Alex Strada with Bleak Kidney on Kerrigan. Mopsio on Johanna to round it out. The team has played perfectly in game number 1, but they are behind. It's Leftovers.
And on the right, it is Team Method, and playing for them, ADRD is playing on that Thrall. Cursed is on the Deckard Cain. Bad Benny is, of course, on that Diablo. Nick is bringing out the Raider for the second time, and a Thera Angel for the second time this tournament is bringing out the Sonya.
Kerrigan immediately with block on level 1, making sure that those auto attacks hurt a little bit less that we're going to see from Jimmy in this game. Nick finds himself again on the auto attacker. And we have another Gul'dan in play. This is going to be a game where it's all about the Shrine clear once again, but of course through that Carrigan and Urel that we are having here, 4 leftovers. It's also a very dive-heavy composition that is targeting Nick on Reyna in particular.
And that begs the question, if they are going dive, are we going to be seeing a cleansing flame where they want to keep up with the multiple melees running forward? Or is this all about that Kerrigan, a life binder? Could be what we see here from the Alexstrasza. We will have to see as we move on.
I'm definitely hyped for this one. The first game was already super exciting and promised to be a great series here as well. And that's what we're looking for here. The draft certainly are very aggressive from both teams, and I want to see how especially those first few shrines are going to look like. For now, we're having rotations of the teams. URL holds the solo lane pretty much alone, but we have a mid lane to top lane rotation with the format on the side of Method. So also trying to maybe catch someone off guard here. They're not matching the team rotation that we're seeing on leftover side, trying to make sure that they don't run into an early Kerrigan combo that would take out Reyna or anyone else.
And right now, Thrall once again returns to this bottom lane. It was an Orc versus Orc lane for a while, but it was disrespected by both teams now as the Mercenaries are started by leftovers. They do not want to take these early fights yet. Once they're rotating around, the Kerrigan actually used to be that one hero with ETC where you would absolutely be looking for early game kills. In this case, though, no one wants to get themselves caught out by that Diablo.
But I really like what we're seeing from leftovers here. Those are some fantastic rotations that they are pulling off now. With Method rotating towards the top lane, but not getting anything done against Urel, leftovers found themselves with a bit of spare time that they used for the bottom camp and then transitioned quickly towards their own. So a really nice move on their end that allows them to spend some extra time now going towards their own Shaman camp. They had also the ability to push out mid in the bot lane again, whereas Method finds themselves in a bit of a reactionary position where they have to adapt to what leftovers throws against them.
So with both teams grabbing their Fallen Shaman, leftovers finished theirs earlier, but they're just delaying the capture of it in time for this objective. You can see the objective's already available, but Kerrigan still waits a little bit longer. You've got maximum merc value. If you can, the most ideal time to grab it is after your opponent. So you, in theory, can get a little bit of extra tower shots onto the front wolves, which means that your wolves are going to get onto the opponent's actual Fallen Shaman a little bit quicker, so you can try and get the better push value. And Method, they do grab theirs a lot earlier than leftovers, so leftovers might actually have the much more efficient Fallen Shaman camp in this top lane.
I mean, in the past, we oftentimes saw Ravage builds for Kerrigan, but what we're having here from leftovers is definitely an adjustment to the map itself. DAB down here, actually heavily attacked by Bad Benny and ADRD on the Diablo Thrall combo, but with Johanna moving in, they were able to prevent the death of Gul'dan, so that was a big important one. But yeah, Fury the Swami on level 4 for Kerrigan, and that's really a fantastic talent that caters towards the map. You get that extra splash damage, and that's great if you're trying to clean out a wave or if you go for the objective itself.
It also caters towards the team fight. It means you can get a significant amount of shielding due to your your normal trait, as you're going to be hitting multiple heroes. It does mean you're missing out on clean kill, which was sort of an essential talent for Kerrigan in terms of solo capping shrines. But if she's capping with the team, then Fury of the Swarm is fine here.
The entire dive setup that we have for leftovers is also emphasized by the Aegis of Light on level 4 for Urel. A pretty standard talent. You sometimes see the gift of the Naro. I even see a Hand of Freedom every now and then, but rarely. And here, once again, combo attempt, but it's all about that armor. Once that Glicid is trying to go in, Urel will follow. Nice attempt to take Kerrigan down, though, as Method is going in deep, but the problem is now they have to deal with the Punisher. The kill was not successful, and now Thrall goes down. Bad Benny finds himself also in trouble. The Punisher stun is blocked again, and that means it's a double kill for leftovers.
Living up to its name, they dive for Nick, but the knockback from Potiboss denies the stun off McKitney, and Nick will escape here. But that was a fantastic push in by leftovers. They don't get the fort until the next minion wave arrives, but overall, that was still brilliant. This fort finally goes down.
You know, it was a great attempt by Method. It was a very risky play, but if that worked out, that would have been fantastic for them. The problem is that Kerrigan survives through all of this, and then the Punisher just helps out with that team fight, especially with Sonya already there at the top. Great play by leftovers, and all of a sudden they are not only a level ahead, they're 2 kills ahead, they've taken out the mid lane. You couldn't hope for a better start into that game.
You keep talking about this dive composition, and look at it right now. We have the extra armor, we have the bladed and blessed momentum, coming in here for the Kerrigan and the Johanna respectively, and the full W build, the full abundance build coming in for Alexstrasza. They want to fight as a group. They want to drop as much CC as possible, which is going to ruin the Sonya if she's not careful here. I'm really interested to see, once they hit those level 10s, how this hard engage comp works.
Yeah, Leftovers are now in a position where, especially on level 10, they're going to look for those aggressive plays, and they want to dive, they want to look for kills. They're going to rotate aggressively, they're going to demand the space on the map, and when Method just steps out a little bit too far, they're going to try and look for that kill, and they have to. They need to be aggressive. Now they are ahead, and you need to play to that advantage, especially with the level 10 ability that we have now.
It's going to be the Cleansing Flames here. No hard support coming in here for that Kerrigan with potentially the Lifeliner. It is all about the dive. Yarel, in fact, is holding hers. The question is, do you want to dive to a single area, or are you just diving full stop? This is where you can see the difference between the Sacred Ground and the Ardent Defender.
Method needs to back off here. They can't stay too long. Leftovers would definitely dive behind that fort if there's a chance for them. So you need to be super cautious. For Method, it's all about securing experience. Try and get to that level 10. Before that's in the bag, there is no way you engage into any fight.
So right now we see the Abundance talent on level 1 already complete here for Alexstrasza. Very nice job indeed. Diablo, though, only on 77 souls. You can really see the zoning potential of Leftovers with just how scary their comp is engage-wise is really coming to bear in this game number 2.
Now, Method, of course, has had a bit of a setback at the beginning of the game since they were not successful in their kill attempt against Kerrigan. They lost to heroes, they lost the fort, they lost a lot of experience. They lost their ground and the position on the map. But they're back to level 10 in time for the second shrine, which means that we're going to fight on even talents. And that's the moment where Method now has the opportunity to turn things around.
Level 10s are now hit. We're seeing that Hyperion once again. Earthquake and Lightning Breath. No Phoenix to benefit from all this. It's all about that Reyna with that ace in the hole here. And no leap from Sonya, nothing cheeky like that. A Sacred Ground is dropped by Bo5. He wants to control this area.
And he's trying to do exactly that now. But as you said, there's a lot of AoE abilities on the Method side on level 10 here. With all that damage and slow, they can do a lot in these fights. Once that they go for the cooldowns, Dragon Queen already popped, the Hyperion comes through, and it is an absolute Armageddon here as we see the Cleansing Flames coming through. Diablo trying to burn them to a crispy, and especially Mopsio is suffering.
Mopsio going down, but he gets out with that Blessed Shield. Horrify from Diaby is just golden as they pull back for the group. Dragon Queen keeping everyone alive. Bo5 dropping low, but gets out, gets the healing. Kerrigan, though, in that fight was shut down hard with a root and then with a Lornado, as the Punisher is still picked up by them, but she got no chance to get any kind of engage due to all of that CC.
Massive exchange of cooldowns there. Absolute chaos in that fight. Everybody just popping the AoE damage here. Hyperion coming through, the Earthquake on the ground, the Flames on Alexstrasza's side, and Diablo immediately coming into play here with even the Maelstrom being popped by Kerrigan. No kill though. Not a single one, but we already have the Sacred Ground back to business. And that was one of the moves by Method, had to move back. And of course, the Protector, the Punisher, that get taken here as well, as Method is trying to force the fight behind it.
There's a 5v4, Kerrigan gonna get taken out. The Assimilation, her trait, not enough to keep her alive, even with that AoE shielding, as she gets taken out. And with Yarel nowhere near, she was clearing top lane, as we saw on the picture-in-picture. She is going to push top lane as best as she can now, due to the fact that she knows exactly where everyone is.
That one kill against Kerrigan is not going to be too much of a problem here for them now. It's something that you really want to avoid, but with them rotating Bo5 to the top early, you could already tell that they knew they couldn't push it in too much. So there was a lot of damage done still. Yeah. And it results in Leftovers keeping that 1.5 level lead, and they have that talent advantage now, which also means that we have for Kerrigan now the double strike taken on 13.
Makes the most sense. She's gone with the Blade of Momentum right now, so getting those ability cooldowns as best as she can. She's going to get more assimilation because more abilities, and now more damage on her auto attacks as well, which is going to synergize well with the Fury and the Swarm. Everything in this build synergizes together. It's all about keeping Kerrigan with the maximum amount of shields and the maximum amount of damage.
And just look how they are dominating that battleground again with a level 13 talent. It's all about, again, you have the advantage, you're moving out. You're not in a position where, Bo5. Yeah, that one hurts. I like the way that Leftovers are dominating the map at the bottom. They go for all the camps, they're making sure that they have the complete control of mercenaries. But of course it hurts when you're a solo laner that is supposed to just simply secure the experience at the top, gets picked off by that rotation. That's something where Method was really doing a great job playing with vision and luring him into that trap. but it is an annoying move from Leftover's perspective. But for Method, it is one of the tickets that can bring them back into this game.
And Method, despite that kill, they're still behind in XP, but that fort helped massively. They're now about a full level behind in XP as opposed to a level and a half with that nice little fort pickup there. Very nice job. They're going to move back. This is a very familiar sight, having this this double camp in the mid lane pushing up against them. They're being very patient with it though, using the Thrall Sustain to hold it outside of tower range so that the Impalers don't actually do damage to structures.
And talking structures, this is the attempt of the Leftovers to repay Method in kind and sniping the top fort, especially since they have vision on the Sonya at the bot lane. So it's a 5-man move by them, but Method has the AoE to simply zone them out here, especially of course with Deckard Kane again. AD already is for the duration in the mid lane, but through some of them really just moving away from vision. Leftovers had to be careful because they didn't know, are they rotating in and trying to flank us, or are they just hiding in a bush somewhere and still soaking experience.
4 down, Leftovers once again using their 5-man group up to their advantage. Look at how patient ADRD has been cleaning this camp. He has it hasn't got a single shot onto his towers outside of what it got the first time. And that is due to him just eating the hits from them a lot of the time, dragging them back very slowly. He didn't move himself out of position to clear them. He didn't go super quick to clear them. He let the minion wave group up close to his base, so he got free XP and was able to clear them up without taking any structure damage. Just superb, safe laning play.
It's actually really tempting for Leftovers to wait for level 16 here, but they don't rotate someone down to get the experience. They're only clearing the middle of the map, but they're still close. Sacred Ground is already activated, and they are trying to stall this out as much as they can, but Method, they want the quick fight now. They have to take it now. Kerrigan with the Maelstrom. Here comes the Earthquake. They're moving in, and the Leftovers are completely getting destroyed on the Kerrigan side, but they get the double kill at the front. Deckard and Thrall are down, and they make it a triple with Sonya also falling. The engage of Johanna with a Condemn was absolutely magnificent.
It was superb, grouping everyone up for Kerrigan, who got an incredible dive. But Kidney got absolutely wrecked, but the job was done. Damage, Maelstrom, and huge AoE damage was able to secure them those 3 kills, and we're gonna see that again.
That was beautiful. I mean, Kerrigan gets wrecked here, but it's a trade that you will take any day. Absolutely perfect. Mopsio, look at that flank.
Double
Coming
stun.
in from the side, he leads with the Blessed Shield. He gets the triple condemn. Kerrigan gets wrecked, but
And
2 are already down.
Raza.
The third one falls. That was fantastic flanking here. And a triple Blessed Shield, a triple condemn to follow it up. You can't ask for more if you are the backline damage dealer. And Gul'dan just looks at this and like, it's like, freebies!
The double Kerrigan stun, the group subs, that is a Gul'dan's dream right there, as he was able to do monumental amounts of damage. He's almost finished on Echo Corruption. He's up to 28 stacks at this point as they begin to push in with this Punisher. Once again, you can see, though, the value of the amount of protection ADRD's put on this lane. They're going to spend a little bit of time burning down these towers, which means the defense is a little bit safer by Method. 16 is already on the board for them, so it's an even talent defense here. Turrets are absorbing a lot of those Impaler hits, which means that they are not going to do as much damage to the fort as quickly, but the Horrify on deck allows them to execute Thrall.
Thrall is down, and the Dragon Queen has been popped, and it jumps in deep. Kerrigan wants the kill. They get the stun. The follow-up attempt, but the Lornado is there. The keep has fallen, though. Hyperion is on the ground, and the Leftovers, they're thinking about it. They're thinking about it as we speak. They want the kill, and they get it. No, they don't.
He gets to the base, he's alive! But the Dragon Queen is up, the Impalers are still here!
Kerrigan is down.
Bad Benny turns around for Mopsio with Kerrigan down. If they get Mopsio too, this could be a turnaround! The clutch heals coming in here. Mopsio is running for his life right now with the Iron Skin. Bad Benny moves in, and that's the counter kill by Method.
Good, Benny. Gets the engage and gets the kill here, but what a fight that we just saw. The core going down to 90%, and Deckard, he should have been dead by all rights, and he just simply is able to barely walk away. If that's the kill, Leftovers go for core. The only reason they're staying there is because they realize, boys, we might be able to finish it right now. And then Deckard barely walks away, and we see Method turning around with a quick kill against Kerrigan, and then they also get Johanna. What a turnaround by Method here. Unbelievable, but they still lost the keep and are behind in the game.
They are indeed, but that comeback XP is a huge deal. They're going to hit level 18. They're going to half a level behind. If they can survive half a level until 20, that's not the worst situation to be in. And if they can get a good group up, they have some banked XP in 2 forts, being alive for leftovers. They have to move into a defensive position and prevent that going over to Method.
The pupil and the master story continues. In game number 1, the master prevailed. ADRD was successful over Mopsio. Mopsio going into game number 2 and saying, I know how to end this. And ADRD is just like, you know nothing, Jon Snow. Takes him down, and they are able to secure the core, at least for now. But can they also win the game? Leftovers, they are still ahead here, but Method is pushing aggressively.
Kerrigan uses the double reset off the minion to get into the engage. The Horrify is gorgeous as ADRD is getting destroyed. Benny, Blackitney with the reset. Benny is doing a great distraction play, but Kirsten gets deleted here as Blackitney somehow survives.
Angry engage attempt, but Kerrigan is the only one that falls. Sonya's already dead. Benny is being chased. You can run, but you can't hide. Diablo, they are going for him. The middle is pushing out already. They want the 20 as well, and with Benny going down, that's exactly what they will be able to achieve here. They're going for him. That's going to be his souls. He's down.
And that's all they really wanted. They don't care about the spawn timers. It's all about making Bad Benny as squishy as possible. A zero souls Diablo is going to be a rough move into the objective of 20 on the board for leftovers.
With Kerrigan, if Kerrigan is alive, they end here.
Yeah.
If Kerrigan doesn't fall, if Athera doesn't get the kill against Kerrigan in the fight before he dies, then this is game. But with her down, leftovers, they take that 20, they take the camp, and they go to the top to get another Punisher.
There's now 1 move left for Method, and that is with Sonya back alive, they have to soak 20. They know they're going to be pushed in with 5 people and a Punisher. They still have a keep, so soaking for 20 somehow, anywhere, is basically their best move, unless they want to try and fight into level 20s while their heroics are down, which looks like is the play.
They might be forced to try it, but can they really? That's the question. Kerrigan is on their way. DAB, he's in so much trouble, and he's down. Gul'dan is dead. Method, they find the 1 kill that can then bring them back here. But the Blessed Shield comes in. Kerrigan is there, the Dragon is popped, and leftovers, they haven't given this up yet.
That lightning breath from Benny is coming up big as Mopsio is down. He didn't take it destructible. He went blinded by the light.
Unbelievable.
And that was insane. That lightning breath coming in from Bad Benny stopped the Horrify from landing and finished off that kill onto the Gul'dan with the 2 kills here. Method, they have 20. 2 members have gone back to clear out those catapults. Leftovers sensibly. Their 1 move they have, their 1 reaction, get double Impaler camps into the catapult lane. That means that Method either have to end with the push or they can't push.
Huge throw by leftovers. A huge throw at that top. Getting complacent here and thinking that they already have it in the bag. There was nothing to stop them to just move back for a few seconds to wait for Kerrigan. They had 20 stacks already against 0, and they overstay. Gul'dan is out of position. Method jumps on him, and they take him down. And this is the moment when Method is going to try and push in, but the mid lane is getting assailed.
They have to end with this.
They're moving
this
in.
Is great.
They're moving in. They're actually going for
base race. It's a base race that keeps going down so fast, though. It's going to be Gul'dan. He has Horrify back. He might just use this for the delay tactic. Not because the Horrify is good for the delay as they actually force ADRD into the keeps as attack speed is slowed. They rush the core right now. Lightning Breath with the upgraded duration. They're burning it down.
God, Method is going for it again. The leftovers are about to fall. They gambled and they lost. Method with a 2-0 lead as the leftovers lose again. ADRD's team making it happen here. The Master successful for the 2nd time as the leftovers throw the game.
I don't want to be Method's cardiologist. I don't want to be my cardiologist after that game because their hearts must be beating out of their chest right now. Another super close core call, but Method, the masters of this.
It was their game to lose. And they allowed for the kill against DAB, and then they did not trust in their ability to go for the defense. They thought they could race them. And it was unbelievable finish here. 2-0 in the series. Method is ahead, but leftovers, they are just playing their hearts out here.
And to talk you through that even more, we're heading over to our splendid analysis desk. Guys, what just happened?
I figured it out. Cool guys walk away from explosions, and Method are the cool guys that walk away from their core that has taken damage.